Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm going to read The Gingerbread Man. I'm going to read the page and then I'll show you the pictures. Once upon a time, there was a little old man and a little old lady. One day, the little old woman said, "Let's make a gingerbread man." "Yes, let's do," said the little old man. And so they did. They're going to make a gingerbread man. So they mixed up the batter, and they didn't have a fancy KitchenAid back then. And they rolled out the dough, and they shaped his arms, his legs, and last of all, they shaped his cute little head. And with raisins, they made eyes, and the little nose and the little mouth, and with sugar glaze, they dressed him in a fancy suit of clothes. Do you see them making the gingerbread man? They're mixing it in a big bowl and then rolling it out on the table and then cutting him out. And they didn't even use a cookie cutter. They just formed him. When they were all set, they put the gingerbread man in the oven and waited. Pretty soon it smelled delicious. And the smell was coming from the oven that told them that the gingerbread man was ready. And so were they. Does your stove look like this? This is what stoves used to look like. It's a little bit different. But when they opened the oven door, oh no, out popped the gingerbread man. Have you ever had that happen? If you're making cookies and you open up the oven and the cookies start running away from you? That has never happened to me, thank goodness. The little old man and the little woman could hardly believe their eyes. The gingerbread man looked at them and put his little hands on his hips. And he said, "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The little man reached down to grab him, but quick as a wink, the little gingerbread man ran out the door and down the road, and the little old man and the little old woman ran after him. "Come back! Come back!" they yelled. But the gingerbread man just looked over his shoulder and said, "No, no, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snack." And he kept on running. I wouldn't want to be eaten either if I was a cookie. And he ran, and he ran, and he ran. After a time, he met a butcher standing in front of his shop. There's the butcher right there. The gingerbread man looked at him and put his hands on his hips and said, "Run, run, as fast as you can. Can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I ran from a husband. I've run from a wife, and I run from you, too. I can. I can." The butcher reached down to grab him, but quick as a wink, the gingerbread man ran down the road, and the butcher ran after him. "Come back! Come back!" yelled the butcher. But not from behind, the little old man and the little old woman were yelling too. "Come back! Come back!" But the gingerbread man just looked over his shoulder and said, "No, no, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snack." And he kept on running and running. Look at all those people chasing that gingerbread man. After a time, he met a black and white cow. The gingerbread man looked up at her and put his hands on her hips and said, "Run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I've run from a husband. I've run from the wife. I've run from the butcher with a carving knife. And I run from you too. I can. I can." That's the black and white cow. Look, she's dressed in a dress. The black and white cow reached out to grab him, but quick as a wink, the gingerbread man ran down the road, and the black and white cow ran after him. "Come back! Come back!" mooed the black and white cow. And not far behind was the little old man, the little old woman, and the butcher with a knife, and they were yelling too. "Come back! Come back!" But the gingerbread man just looked over his shoulder and said, No, no, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snack. And he kept on running and running and running. After a time, he met a muddy old sow. A sow is another name for a pig, but I bet you've never seen a pig that looks like this. The gingerbread man looked up at her and put his hands on his hip and said, "Run, run as fast as you can. Can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I've run from a husband. I've run from a wife. I've run from a butcher with a carving knife. I've run from a cow, all black and white. And I'll run from you too. I can, I can." And there he is. The muddy old sow reached out to grab him, but quick as a wink, the gingerbread man ran out to the road, and the muddy old sow ran after him. "Come back!" yelled the muddy old sow. And not far behind, the little old man, the little old woman, the butcher with a knife, and the black and white cow were yelling too. "Come back! Come back! Come back!" But the gingerbread man looked over his shoulder and said, "No, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snack." And so he ran and ran. And he ran and ran and he ran even more. And after a time he met a fox. The gingerbread man looked at him and put his little hands on his hips and said, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I've run for the husband. I've run for the wife. I've run for the butcher with a carving knife. I've run from a cow and a muddy old sow. And I'll run from you. I can. I can." But the fox didn't do anything. He said, "What did you say?" asked the tricky fox pretended he couldn't hear well. "I'm not as young as I used to be," he said. "You have to come closer and speak louder." The gingerbread man stepped closer, and in a very loud voice, he said, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I've run from the husband. I've run from the wife. I've run from the butcher with a carving knife. I've run from the cow and a muddy old sow. And I'll run from you too. I can. I can." Just then, the little man, the little old woman, and the butcher with a knife, and the black and white cow, and the muddy old sow came running around the road. And they were yelling, "Come back! Come back!" The gingerbread man looked over his shoulder, but before you could say a word, the fox jumped up and grabbed him. And quick as a wink, before he could think, with a snap and a snick and a lick and a lap and a lick, the gingerbread man was gone. He tricked him. He had him come closer and then he ate him. The little old man and the little old woman and the butcher with a knife and the black and white cow and the muddy old sow stood and stared sadly at the fox. He hadn't left a single crumb for anyone. He ate the whole entire cookie in one bite. Riddle, riddle, ran, fiddle, fiddle, fan. So ends the tale of the gingerbread man. And that's the end of the story. So I'm going to send a recipe, and if you would like to make a batch of gingerbread men and decorate them and see if they run out of your oven, and take a picture of them and send it to me. All right, guys, thank you. Bye.